Did you know some of Hollywood's brightest stars have powerful love stories you've never heard? From secret weddings to bold coming outs, these black lesbian icons are breaking barriers and living their truth. You think you know them, but wait till you hear this. Buckle up as we dive into stories that'll make you rethink everything you thought you knew about love, fame, and freedom. Farm 7 will shock you. Dee Reese from rejection to revolution. Before she made waves in Hollywood, Dee Reese was fighting a silent war at home. Raised in the conservative South, Dee knew early on that she was different. But saying it out loud? That was dangerous. When she finally came out as a lesbian, the backlash was instant. Her parents didn't just disapprove, they tried to pray it away, flooding her with Bible verses and guilt. But Dee didn't fold. She turned that rejection into rebellion. She picked up a camera and made Pariah, a film so raw and personal, it felt like watching someone bleed truth on screen. It wasn't just storytelling, it was survival. A coming-of-age drama that mirrored her own life. Pariah became a beacon for anyone who'd ever been told they were too much or not enough. Hollywood took notice. Critics raved. But more importantly, young queer black girls saw themselves, maybe for the first time, reflected on screen. Today, Dee Reese is a force. She's married to acclaimed author Sarah M. Broom, and together they've built a life rooted in love, freedom, and unapologetic truth. What once nearly broke her now fuels her. Her lens doesn't just capture stories, it sets them free. And if you think Dee's done shaking things up, think again. Tessa Thompson, Hollywood's quiet rebel. Tessa Thompson isn't just a star. She's a storm wrapped in silk. Known for playing fierce, fearless women, from Valkyrie in Thor, Ragnarok to Charlotte in Westworld, Tessa commands the screen. But off camera, her boldest role is simply being herself. In 2018, Tessa casually dropped a truth bomb. She's bisexual. The world paused. Headlines exploded. But Tessa, she stayed cool. "I'm attracted to men and women," she said, like it was the most natural thing in the world, because for her, it is. That same year, rumors swirled about her relationship with the one and only Janelle Monáe. The chemistry? Electric. They appeared arm in arm on red carpets. Tessa starred in Janelle's futuristic, sensual music video, Dirty Computer. Neither confirmed, neither denied. But the world couldn't look away. Tessa made it clear she wasn't here for labels or definitions. "We love each other deeply," she said, and that was enough. Her family? 100% supportive. In a world where coming out can still destroy careers, Tessa chose transparency over fear. She didn't make a spectacle, she made a statement. And while fans may speculate about her love life, Tessa's real romance is with freedom. The freedom to love who she wants, play the roles she chooses, and live without compromise. Amandla Stenberg, breaking the binary, one role at a time. Amandla Stenberg didn't just steal hearts as Rue in The Hunger Games. They've been rewriting the rules of identity in Hollywood ever since. Young, brilliant, and unapologetically bold, Amandla has become a face of a new generation, one that refuses to be boxed in. In 2016, they came out as bisexual, but that was only the beginning. Soon after, Amandla revealed they're non-binary, rejecting the traditional labels of male or female, and now use they/them pronouns. For Amandla, identity isn't something to be confined. It's fluid, alive, and deeply personal. And while that might make some people uncomfortable, that's not their problem. They've been vocal, fearless, and refreshingly real about what it means to live outside the binary, especially as a black queer person in the public eye. Every interview, every role, every red carpet look is a statement. I exist. And I'm not hiding. Their high-profile relationship with singer King Princess gave fans a glimpse into queer love that felt authentic and raw, not curated for the spotlight, but lived in, full of joy and growth. Though the romance didn't last, the impact did. Whether they're starring in boundary-pushing films or speaking truth on social issues, Amandla is reminding us all, you don't have to fit in to belong. You just have to show up as your whole self. Jessica Nicole, the sci-fi star who's always been real. You might recognize Jessica Nicole from Fringe, where she cracked codes and chased mysteries in alternate universes. But her real-life story? Even more powerful. Because Jessica has never played pretend when it comes to who she is. Long before Hollywood was ready, Jessica proudly identified as a lesbian. No dramatic announcement, no magazine cover, just truth, steady, calm, and undeniable. While many actors kept their personal lives behind closed doors, Jessica refused to dim her light. She walked red carpets with her partner, talked openly about their relationship, and made it clear being queer wasn't a secret. It was a strength. In 2013, she married Claire Savage, a creative powerhouse in her own right, working in virtual reality. The two met before Jessica became a household name, and their bond has only grown stronger through the spotlight. Jessica often praises Claire's artistry, calling her not just a partner, but an inspiration. They live quietly but not invisibly, occasionally sharing glimpses of their life filled with creativity, support, and deep-rooted love. For Jessica, visibility isn't about being loud, it's about being consistent, being present, and being unapologetically yourself, whether you're in a sci-fi lab or walking your dog in the park. Queen Latifah, the queen who played it close, until she didn't. For decades, Queen Latifah reigned. Rapper, actress, producer, icon. Fierce on the mic, flawless on screen, and famously private off it. Fans whispered, tabloids speculated, but she never blinked. While the world demanded answers about her love life, Latifah held the line. Silence was her shield. Until 2021. At the BET Awards, standing tall in front of millions, Queen Latifah accepted a Lifetime Achievement Award, and in one simple line, shattered the silence. Ebony, my love. Happy Pride. Just like that, the Queen acknowledged what had been hiding in plain sight for years. Ebony Nichols, a dancer, choreographer, and Latifah's longtime partner. Together since 2013, spotted hand in hand at events, rumored to have a child together, but never spoken about until that moment. It wasn't a dramatic coming out. It was a declaration of love. Quiet, elegant, undeniable. Latifah didn't owe the world an explanation. She never has. But when she chose to speak, it mattered. Because for Black queer women, especially those raised in worlds where silence meant safety, that moment was everything. Angel Hayes, the rapper who refused to be defined. Angel Hayes didn't wait for the world's permission to be real. They just kicked the door down and said, "Here I am." Rapper, poet, truth-teller, Angel is everything the music industry didn't see coming. They identify as pansexual and agender, which means they don't fit into any neat box. For Angel, love isn't about gender, and identity isn't a costume. It's raw, it's personal, and it's always evolving. In 2014, the world took notice when Angel went public with their relationship with model Ireland Baldwin, daughter of Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger. They weren't hiding. They posted photos, kissed in the open, and dared the press to look away. But the media didn't know what to do with them. Two young, bold, queer people in love? Headlines called it unexpected. Angel called it love. They clapped back hard, refusing to let anyone turn their relationship into a sideshow. "We're just two people who found each other," Angel said. And that was that. Their music? Explosive, confessional, unafraid. They rap about trauma, identity, rage, love, everything most artists are too scared to touch. Because for Angel, art isn't about making hits, it's about survival. Samira Wiley, from on-screen love to real-life vows. We first met Samira Wiley as Poussey in Orange is the New Black, the fan favorite with a fierce heart, and a tragic end. But behind the scenes, Samira's real-life love story was just beginning. Lauren Morelli was one of the minds behind the show, married to a man when she started. But as she wrote scenes about queer love, something shifted. The words she was crafting weren't just fiction. They were reflections of a truth she had long buried. Their connection started quietly. Conversations turned into late-night talks. Friendship turned into something undeniable. Lauren ended her marriage. The rest? Magic. In 2017, the two married in a sunset ceremony straight out of a dream. Their wedding photos went viral, not just for the glam, but for the joy. Two women standing in their truth, grinning like they knew they'd just changed everything. Since then, they've become a power couple of love and representation, sharing glimpses of their life on social media, vacations, work days, parenting moments, and stolen kisses. Samira once said Lauren helped her find herself. But the truth is, together, they've helped so many others do the same. Niecy Nash, the surprise wedding that broke the internet. Nobody saw it coming. Niecy Nash, the bold, hilarious, scene-stealing queen of claws and Reno 911, had always been known for her vibrant personality and two high-profile marriages to men. So when she dropped a wedding photo in 2020, glowing in a white gown, holding hands with singer Jessica Betts, the internet did a collective double-take. Wait, Niecy's married to a woman? Yup. And she didn't just get married, she shook the culture. Niecy had never publicly identified as bisexual. She wasn't coming out, she said. She was simply stepping into love. For her, it wasn't about gender. It was about energy, connection, joy. I married the person who brings me the most peace, she told the world. And that person just happened to be Jessica. Their love story wasn't overnight. They'd been friends for years. But after Niecy's second divorce, something shifted. The friendship deepened. Sparks flew. And suddenly, what seemed impossible became undeniable. Her announcement wasn't a press release. It was a revolution. With one photo, Niecy redefined what queer love looks like for Black women in the spotlight. Not a struggle, not a secret, but a celebration. Now she's living her truth, louder and prouder than ever. Janelle Monáe, the electric lover who defies labels. Janelle Monáe isn't just an artist. She's a revolution in high heels and tailored tuxedos. With a voice that electrifies and a style that dares you to look away, Janelle doesn't just perform, she disrupts. In 2018, she dropped more than a new album. In a Rolling Stone interview, Janelle came out as pansexual. I consider myself to be a free-ass mother. She said, and the world listened, loudly. She spoke for the fluid, the unlabeled, the misfits who never saw themselves in neat categories. She wasn't just in the spotlight, she turned it into a prism. And then came the whispers. Was she in love with Tessa Thompson? The rumors weren't random. Tessa starred in Janelle's deeply sensual, futuristic album, Dirty Computer. And the chemistry between them? Blazing. On red carpets, in interviews, in every glance, every lyric, every soft, lingering look. Neither confirmed, neither denied. But Janelle made one thing clear. Love isn't a secret. It's a spectrum. And she's not here to shrink. Beyond the music, she became a beacon for queer Black expression, unfiltered, unapologetic, and unforgettable. Janelle Monáe doesn't just blur lines. She erases them. And in the spaces left behind, she builds a new world where love is freedom and being seen is power. Felicia Pearson, from Prison to Prime Time, and Proudly Out. You know her as Snoop, the razor-sharp, no-nonsense enforcer from The Wire. But Felicia Pearson's real-life story? It's even grittier than the streets she portrayed on screen. Born to drug-addicted parents and raised in foster care, Felicia grew up in the heart of Baltimore's toughest neighborhoods. By 14, she was convicted of second-degree murder and sent to prison. That could have been the end. But Felicia doesn't do endings, she does reinvention. While behind bars, she faced the truth of who she was, not just as a survivor, but as a lesbian in a world that didn't always make space for women like her. Coming out wasn't just brave, it was dangerous. But she didn't flinch. After her release, a chance meeting with The Wire's Michael K. Williams changed her life. He saw her, really saw her, and believed in her raw, unfiltered power. She landed the role of Snoop not because she acted tough, but because she was tough. Off-screen, Felicia has never hidden her truth. She's dated women openly, spoken candidly about rejection and resilience, and used her platform to uplift LGBTQ+ youth who feel like the world's already given up on them. Her journey from inmate to inspiration is more than survival. It's a masterclass in authenticity. Felicia Pearson didn't just beat the odds, she redefined them, and she's not done yet. Gina Yashir, the comic who laughed her way out of the closet. Gina Yashir was never supposed to make it big, not as a black, queer, working-class daughter of Nigerian immigrants growing up in East London, but supposed to was never part of her vocabulary. Today, she's a comedy juggernaut, a star in the U.S. thanks to Bob Hart's Abishola, and a sharp-tongued truth slayer who turned her outsider status into punchlines that hit like truth bombs. But behind the laughs, a story of guts, grit, and blazing self-love. Gina came out as a lesbian long before it was cool or even safe. Her Nigerian family didn't talk about queerness. They buried it. But Gina refused to disappear. She didn't hide her sexuality from the public, from producers, or from the people who told her it would ruin her career. She came out anyway, on stage, on screen, and on her own terms. "I was too gay for Nigeria, too black for Britain," she once joked. But the punchline is this: she built a global audience by being exactly who she is. These days, she shares her life with Nina Rose Fisher, a professor who's more brains than bling. They keep things low-key, but when Gina talks about her, it's with that unmistakable grin, the kind that says, "I got lucky." In a world that told her to shrink, Gina Yashir got louder and funnier and prouder. She didn't just break barriers, she roasted them. Tracy Chapman, the quiet voice that changed everything. Tracy Chapman doesn't need a tabloid headline to make noise. Her voice, raw, haunting, unforgettable, has been cutting through silence since the 80s. But while her lyrics spoke volumes, her personal life, a locked diary. For decades, Tracy kept the world at a respectful distance. No flashy interviews, no oversharing, just music and mystery. But those who looked closer knew, behind the guitar was a woman quietly living her truth. In the mid-1990s, whispers turned into confirmation. Tracy was in a relationship with author Alice Walker, the Pulitzer Prize-winning writer of The Color Purple. Two black women, both legendary, both openly queer, in love during a time when few dared to be. They didn't parade it. They didn't hide it. They just were. And for many, especially queer women of color, that was revolutionary. Tracy has never explicitly labeled her sexuality, and maybe that's the point. Her life and music reject boxes. Fast car, talking about a revolution. These aren't just songs. They're anthems of escape, of longing, of radical hope. And queer fans? They heard themselves in every chord. While others shouted to be seen, Tracy let the silence speak, and it roared. She may never write a memoir, but her legacy is already carved in history, black, brilliant, and unbothered by the noise. Jessica Betts, the soulful surprise behind Niecy Nash's I Do. Before 2020, Jessica Betts was a name known mostly to R&B insiders, a powerhouse voice, smooth as silk, with a loyal underground following. But then came that wedding photo. One white dress, one radiant smile, one simple caption, Mrs. Carol Denise Betts. And just like that, Jessica went from soulful singer to headline maker, as the woman who stole Niecy Nash's heart. The shock wasn't about Jessica. It was about the story everyone thought they knew. Niecy Nash had been married twice to men. She had never publicly identified as queer. So when she married Jessica, fans and media lost their minds. But what they didn't realize? Jessica had always been right there, quietly building a career, quietly loving with her whole heart. And when the timing was right, that love became unstoppable. Jessica and Niecy weren't some whirlwind Hollywood fling. They were friends first, deep, genuine friends who knew each other beyond the cameras. And when the line between friendship and something more began to blur, Jessica didn't hold back. She showed up with music, with tenderness, with truth. She didn't just win Niecy over, she helped her break free. Now, Jessica is not just a wife. She's a muse, a symbol, proof that love can arrive in unexpected ways and that choosing it, loudly, unapologetically, changes everything. As Marie Livingston, androgyny, attitude, and a love that made headlines. As Marie Livingston doesn't walk into a room, she owns it. Towering, tatted, with a gaze that cuts like glass, she's not your typical beauty queen. And that's the point. Model, actress, singer. As Marie first caught the world's eye on America's Next Top Model, where her striking androgynous look shattered the industry's expectations. But what really set her apart? She never hid who she was. Queer, confident, unapologetically bold. In a world obsessed with labels, As Marie walked her own line and never looked back. But what really launched her into the cultural conversation? Her high-profile romance with Disney star turned icon Raven-Simonet. For years, they kept things low-key but real. No red carpet PDA, no dramatic press tour. Just two women, quietly and fiercely in love. Their relationship made waves not because it was scandalous, but because it was visible. Two successful black women, both in the public eye, daring to love each other out loud. For young queer fans, it was everything. Though they eventually parted ways, As Marie's impact stuck. She kept pushing boundaries. On screen in Empire, on stage with her music, and in every space that once told her she didn't fit. Because if there's one thing As Marie Livingston proves again and again, it's this: you don't have to change to belong. You just have to show up as you. Kiersey Clemons, queer, unfiltered, and unapologetically herself. Kiersey Clemons doesn't ask for space, she takes it. Whether she's lighting up the screen in Dope, stealing scenes in The Flash, or producing her own music videos, Kiersey is everywhere, and she's doing it her way. She came out as queer early in her career, not with a media blitz or viral tweet, but with calm confidence and full ownership. "I don't need a label," she said. "I just need to be honest." That honesty has made her a magnetic figure in Hollywood, talented, fearless, and refreshingly real. While other stars played it safe, Kiersey leaned into her truth, on screen and off. Her characters aren't just diverse, they reflect her lived experience. Queer, complex, and deeply human. Off camera, Kiersey keeps things low-key, but fans quickly noticed her sweet, creative, and joy-filled relationship with stunt performer Ebony De La Haye. Together, they're the kind of couple that makes queerness look not just normal, but aspirational. They've appeared together on red carpets, in sunlit selfies, and in quiet gestures of love that don't need captions to be understood. Kiersey's vibe? Soft power, loud talent, queer visibility without theatrics. She's not here to explain herself. She's here to exist, and in doing so, she gives permission for others to do the same. Robin Roberts, America's anchor, and the woman who anchors her. For years, Robin Roberts was the steady voice millions woke up to on Good Morning America. Calm, poised, endlessly professional, a trusted presence in American homes. But off-screen, Robin was quietly living a story few knew. She came out publicly in 2013, but by then, she had already been in love for nearly a decade. Her partner, Amber Lane, a massage therapist with no desire for the spotlight but every bit of Robin's heart. The two met in 2005 and built a quiet, solid life together. No paparazzi, no public declarations, just love, private, steady, and strong. It wasn't until Robin faced a life-threatening illness in 2012 that the world saw a glimpse of that love. Amber was by her side through every treatment, every moment of fear and hope. And when Robin posted a heartfelt thank you, casually naming Amber in the message, the world exhaled. It wasn't a dramatic coming out. It was a whisper that echoed loudly. Robin never hid who she was. She just prioritized her peace. And when she did speak, it mattered. It reminded us that living truthfully doesn't always mean loudly. Sometimes it's simply loving who you love, for as long as it takes. Today, after nearly 20 years together, Robin and Amber remain one of the most grounded, enduring queer love stories in the spotlight. Proof that quiet strength is still strength. Da Brat, the rap queen, who finally said, "I'm in love." For years, Da Brat was the tough girl in hip-hop. Baggy clothes, razor-sharp lyrics, and a no-nonsense attitude. She was the first female solo rapper to go platinum, smashing charts and stereotypes. But while her music was loud, her personal life locked tight. Then came 2020, and a single Instagram post changed everything. After decades of dodging questions about her sexuality, Da Brat came out in the most unexpected, beautiful way by going public with her relationship with entrepreneur Jessica Judy Dupart. No press release, just love. She wrote, "I've never felt this way before, and suddenly the world saw a new side of Da Brat, vulnerable, glowing, and finally, free." Their romance took the internet by storm. Fans were shocked, moved, and cheering her on. In 2022, the couple tied the knot in a lavish Georgia wedding filled with family, fashion, and full-circle joy. For Da Brat, coming out wasn't just about identity. It was about healing, from fear, from judgment, from years of hiding. And now, she's loud in love and prouder than ever. Wanda Sykes, the comedian who came out swinging. Wanda Sykes has always had a sharp tongue and a sharper mind, slicing through politics, race, and relationships with brutal honesty and brilliant wit. But in 2008, she dropped the punchline of her life, "I'm a proud black lesbian woman." The setting? A rally in Las Vegas, fighting against Proposition 8, California's same-sex marriage ban. It wasn't planned. It wasn't staged. It was rage turned into revelation. And just like that, Wanda wasn't just making jokes about injustice. She was living the resistance. Turns out she'd quietly married her French wife, Alex Needbalski, earlier that year. They met on a ferry, rom-com level cute, fell in love, and started building a life together. In 2009, they welcomed twins, Olivia and Lucas, into their world, and Wanda into full-on mom mode. Coming out wasn't easy. She said her parents were shocked, and not in the good way. But Wanda never backed down. She doubled down, using her platform to speak up, crack us up, and show us what living truthfully really looks like. Wanda Sykes didn't just come out. She came out swinging, with humor, heart, and a whole lot of pride. Lena Waithe, the storyteller who wrote herself into history. Lena Waithe doesn't just create shows, she creates space. Black, queer, unapologetic, she burst onto the scene with a pen in one hand and a purpose in the other. She made Emmy history in 2017, winning for the Master of None episode Thanksgiving. A heart punch of a story based on her real-life experience coming out to her family. It was raw, awkward, beautiful, and the first time many black queer viewers saw themselves truly represented. But Lena wasn't done. She went on to create the Chai 20s and more, all rooted in her mission to show queer black lives as they are, complex, messy, joyful, real. Not side characters, not stereotypes, leads. In interviews, she's always clear. Being a masculine presenting black lesbian in Hollywood isn't easy, but it's non-negotiable. I walk in rooms and I don't code switch, she says, and that's her power. Her personal life has had its ups and downs, including a headline making whirlwind marriage and split, but through it all, Lena remains grounded in one truth. Visibility isn't a trend, it's a lifeline. Lena Waithe isn't just telling stories, she's building a legacy, one truth at a time. Raven-Symoné, from Disney, darling to queer icon. Raven-Symoné grew up in front of millions. From The Cosby Show to That's So Raven, she wasn't just famous, she was beloved. A household name, a child star who beat the odds. But behind the laugh tracks and visions of the future, Raven was holding on to a truth she wasn't ready to share. For years, she kept her sexuality private. Not because she was ashamed, but because the world wasn't ready. "My personal life is mine," she once said, and for a long time, that was her shield. But in 2013, when same-sex marriage was legalized in more states, she tweeted just 8 words that said it all: "I can finally get married. Yay, government." By 2020, she dropped the real headline. She had quietly married Miranda Madej in an intimate backyard ceremony. No paparazzi, just pure, unapologetic love. The kind she had once hidden, now fully in bloom. Raven's journey wasn't about a grand reveal. It was about coming home to herself. She's now living out loud with her wife by her side and a new chapter that's fully her own. No scripts, no rewrites. From childhood fame to grown-up freedom, Raven-Symoné showed us that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is just be you.